Today is Sunday, the 19th of April. Sunday, the 19th of April. And I'm out walking Tuco because he didn't have his walk this morning because it was raining heavily. And as I'm walking, it's actually starting to rain now. I'm just going down the path because Tuco needs to have his poo. And there's such a difference in the weather from the last few days. It's got these big, heavy, thick grey clouds. Everything's wet. And there's that smell when heavy grass, thick grass gets wet. That really strong smell. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very Irish phenomenon. You can smell the earth. Hello, Tuco. We won't go too far, Tuco. Tuco doesn't like the rain. And it's chilly and damp. It really, really is. Like walking around Ireland, it brings back a sensation of walking down to Carlow Town at some points in the past. It's kind of strange. I'm walking on the path and I can feel my runners getting wetter and wetter, and I'm not walking in the grass unless the water is just seeping up through the. Maybe it's time I put these runners away. I just wore them on the hot days. So yeah, we're back. We're still in isolation, of course. The 19th of April. Like Flo was saying yesterday, it's quite something how quick things go when you're in a routine which, as I kind of said, doesn't have many spheres. It doesn't have many no different locations. And if you have a day and you go to work for a while, and then you go home for a bit, and then you go to X for a meeting, you elongate the day. It's like the time seems to go differently, and so at the end of the day you think, wow, that was a long day. But here, even if you got up earlier, you're going to spend all your time either in the house or briefly, like now, you come out and walk. But when you do that day in and day out, the time tends to just fly. Good boy, Tuco. And this April, for instance, it's hard to it just doesn't seem like we've already nearly gone 20 days into April. I mean, once you get past 20 days, it's like you're counting down the end of the month. It's just kind of flew by. And I noticed that from listening to some of these audio tapes at night. I'm listening to one and it's like, well, I was playing Transport Fever today, and in the game I'm doing this and that and the other. And then I realized, oh, wow, this is like the 22nd of March or something. This is it's like a month ago. And it seems again, I'm thinking, did I really, in my mind, I didn't get this game till April. Wow, I'm walking and it's really mucky everywhere here. What the hell? I think it's where the guy dug the hole to put the, he put some tubing for the water. And just that stretch, because normally this path is, well, it's hard, it's gravel, you don't sink in it, but just that patch where he dug that hole, it's really mucky. So I'm walking past this new crop of maize, and all the shoots are up. Good boy, Tuco. You can see all the little green shoots now. Lots of little green shoots. Look at that. They're about an inch. They must be so happy because they've had this beautiful morning of rain, and we were saying yesterday the best thing that could happen now for that crop, because it was very dry, hadn't rained for quite a while, was that it could get a few hours rain, and it has done, and now they're gonna grow quick when the sun comes back out. So yeah, I managed to get back into the game last night after having kind of a disappointment with the day before. I got to the end of the session with putting in all the passenger rails and stuff, when I deleted some roads and the traffic seemed to be strange, so I decided to stop. But I started another game, and I found this material goods, the factory with the red brick as a symbol, and it was right beside the town. So I thought, I'm going to start, and there was a quarry right beside the town. I said, I'm going to start by just doing a small length of rail in one train here. I'm going to deliver this stuff to the town. And that was working so well, I thought, I'm going to try and deliver this, because everything's up and running here, and the factory can produce quite a lot more than it is, because there's no demand anymore in the town. It's only just wanted 40 units. So I thought, why don't I take a chance and build a rail all the way down to the far end of the map, going from far south all the way up to the north, and deliver more of these bricks to two towns that are at the very top. And so I started that, and it worked really well. It took a while. I had to take a few loans. It took about 20 years in game time to start making a profit, but eventually, because when you start delivering stuff far away, you get paid more. And my factory just kept, I didn't need to do any more adjustments to the factory. It was getting enough, as long as I kept adding on carriages to the train that was delivering the rock, because I had just one train delivering over 200 units of rock. And so after that, this factory was really able to produce lots of material. So it was able to send stuff to the town that only needed 40, which had now risen to 60, I think. And it was also able to produce plenty to send to the other two towns up north. And I just kept going on that. I ended up putting 2 more trains on the line going north. Tuco, where are you? And I put another train taking it even to the second town up north. That was really, it was engaging. It was engaging doing it that way, just really working on nothing else except that one industry, and trying to supply, which I am doing now. I'm supplying every town that needs that product from that one factory. And I had some ideas last night about, would I be able to run a passenger train on the same track, but just have it kind of come off at some point near the end and go into a passenger station. Don't know if that's possible. Let's have a look at the river, Tuco. Has it expanded a little bit with this rain? No, not really. At least these little fish that are trapped in this pool here are having more war. Beautiful. Let's go back, little fella. I think that's far enough, huh? Let's go back. I'm going to have to dry your paws before you can get inside, I think. Shall we go back? Allez. I love the change in the weather. April. It's just cool, because right now it's like, I don't know, October, November or something. January, it's like the middle of the winter again. You would think you were in kind of the 11th or 12th month of the year, and that you were months away from the summer and months away from the clock going forward. And yet it's the 19th of April. We're actually getting close to the summer and the 30-degree days. Yeah, what's this summer going to be like? There's no sign of restaurants opening up until well into the next month. They're starting to kind of ease up on the lockdown on the 11th of May. That's already a few weeks away. But that's just for a few things. For businesses wise, it may be the end of May. And we have enough money, obviously, to survive. We've got some savings, but I'm just thinking now, a thought struck me. With the money you may have to spend, let's say, if it got to the fact that you had to spend your savings to pay the rent or something, I was just thinking that would be money that I could have spent on getting, let's say, a new up-to-date powerful laptop. And imagine if instead of buying your laptop, that money went to 2 months rent, so you ended up paying €1,000 in rent, which was money that could have been used for more interesting things. I didn't look at it that way before. How wet is it in here, Tuco? Is it full of muck, or doesn't seem to make much difference? Seems to be as mucky on the path as anywhere else. Allez, où est le lapin? Où est le lapin, Tuco? The magic words. I guess you can pick up the sound of the rain, just kind of it's that gentle kind of almost drizzly rain. And it's still, there's no wind, at least not here anyway. And so it really reminds me of Carlo. Had a flashback to kind of moping around the garden in Springfield Drive on days like this, way back, going into the garage. It's the same smell. It's something about the smell, when all the trees get wet, and in our garden you've got the heavy, oops, my lace coming undone. That's going to be fucking, you've got the heavy hedges in our garden. And you've got all the plants, the bushes and all the evergreens, and when they get wet, it's a similar kind of strong, nice kind of smell, sweet smell. It's very nostalgic, a nostalgic smell. Yeah, I know there was a time way back when I was 16 or something maybe, and Ricky was around, and we took a series of photographs, me and John. He took one of me in the garage, I took one of him, and I guess some around the house and stuff. And I just remember it was a day like this. It was a wet... Let's go back, Tuco. I'm full of muck, absolutely full of muck. Who would have thought, Tuco, yesterday was dry as a bone walking around here. Who would have thought that the next day I'm going to be walking and it's going to be full of muck, huh? So I'm now walking across the part that was all freshly dug up to put the pipes, and it's really wet and mucky. Yeah, Irish weather. So I was looking at my the red notebook, one of the first ones, and just looking at the entry from 78, and doing that last test of English in 1A3, and then leaving on that Friday, I guess it was, and it was snowing outside. And when I think on it, I can get this very... It's a sense of the feeling from some parts of that time, and it's such a strong feeling of happiness, stronger than anything I could experience now. Well, it's always possible that the level of feelings will keep rising, as it seems to be doing, and I will experience something like that. Or it's possible that it's some kind of nostalgia thing, and not quite correct, but it comes back every now and again, and it's like having the feeling again for just a fraction of a second, and you're back in the place. It's the sensation of looking forward to Christmas, and it's remembering before we put that kind of paneling on the stairs. It was all the sheets of the paneling stuff was in the hall in the back of the house, and I always remember that. I associated it because it was leading up to Christmas, and I was counting down the weeks, you know. And then that Christmas '78 again. I guess the next year too. There's that whole beginning to recognize music. It kind of started around then, 78, 79. That's why I've got such an affinity with some of the songs from those years. And then starting to record the stuff on the radio. It's kind of interesting. It was fascinating for me to contemplate on it, because I know deep down that there's something fascinating about that. It was the joy in Christmas and the joy in having 2 weeks off school. I don't know, does it say that? And I don't think school was terrible, not in the academy. It wasn't that bad at all. I was enjoying things. I wasn't under any pressure. So it wasn't that the 2 weeks holiday were so needed, but still, just the experience of Christmas, or at least of looking forward to Christmas at that age. In 78 I would have been 12, but I'm kind of a month short of 13. I don't really have much recollection of the Christmases before that. I wish I'd started writing in that diary a lot earlier, but... Tuco! Stop! Stop! Wait for me. Yeah, just that specific 2 years, you know. Because the Christmas of 79, my mother got me the radio. And I was listening to it on the New Year's Eve. Going into 1980. It's funny, I actually have a recording of Terry Wogan, who did his show the next morning. Yeah, the question is, why? What is it about a 12-year-old that can experience the aesthetic feelings so highly? Well, because of a Christmas. What was so much grander then about the Christmas tree and Andy Williams and the biscuits and sweets and things? Maybe it was just that we were just a lot less spoiled than we are now. So all the bits and pieces you got for Christmas were just more, I don't know, impressive. Like nowadays I can buy a box of Quality Streets anytime I want. It's like getting a packet of crisps. There's no value anymore. But that in itself wouldn't explain the height of the feeling. Of course, there is a chance that a lot of this feeling may have been aroused from playing music, rocking, and then projecting this kind of idealized vision of what it would be like when I finish school for the holidays. There is a chance that I'm mistaking some of those looking forward to for maybe there were small moments, small pockets, that actually a lot of the day-to-day life was a lot more, maybe more dull than I think. Okay, Tuco, you did your business. Yeah, let's go. Oh, it really is a wet day. It really is a wet day. Okay, well, a lot of rain dropping on this little thing. I hope I'm not destroying it, but that's all for now.